This is the plaintiff, Dave Shelton. He says he started working on the defendant's radio show and worked there for 2 years and eventually quit because he was tired of being abused and embarrassed on the air. To this day, he hasn't received payment from the radio station. The defendant promised him he would get paid, and since he hasn't, he's suing for $10,000, the amount owed. This is the defendant, Gary Garver. He says the plaintiff was nothing more than a recurring guest who came on the show to promote whatever it was he was working on at the time. Never once did the plaintiff ask to be paid for his appearances. He's sorry, but the plaintiff's grasping at straws because neither he nor the radio station owes this guy a cent. He's accused of ripping off a radio star.
All parties, please raise your right hand. Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
Welcome
Dave
in.
Shelton,
Yes.
You are suing Gary Garver for $10,000 in wages that you say are owed to you over the course of 2 years that you worked and did not get paid. Talk to me. What happened?
Your Honor. Yes, originally I met Gary at a previous radio show that he had asked me to be on, and then he had a TV version of it. And then when he went and started this other radio show, he asked me to come on and be regular and a co-host on it, and with the promise that I'd be getting paid.
All right, and how is it that when he approaches you and says, hey, you want to be on, how does it work?
He says, I'm doing the show. I want you to come on and co-host. And, you know, I brought a lot of celebrities on the show that were my friends, a lot of guests. We did appearances.
What is it you do that, are you a comedian?
Yeah, comedian and a writer and a voice actor.
What have you done that, have you done anything that I might recognize?
Yeah, I was a writer on Everybody Loves Raymond.
I love that show.
Oh, thank you.
Are you really a writer on Everybody Loves Raymond? Mm-hmm. I didn't miss an episode. Neither did my mother. All right, Mr. Garver, tell me about you. What have you done? Is it the same idea that you were a comedian? Usually they give the shows to people who are
more of a talk show host. I've been in the radio business for 30 years.
Okay.
Worked on the Howard Stern show for about 17 of those years.
What did you do for the Howard Stern show?
I was his first West Coast producer back in 1991 when he decided to syndicate his show there. And then I became a celebrity reporter for him in Hollywood, did interviews for him from 97 to about 2007.
Okay.
Also had a talk show there.
All right. So, you know, normally, Mr. Shelton, the rest of us, if we go to work and they don't pay us, we stop working. So you kind of have, you know, some heavy lifting to do to persuade me why it is that over the course of 2 years, you would continue to show up to a job you're supposed to be paid at. Because, of course, according to you, is he supposed to be paid?
No, Your Honor.
Right. So that's where your heavy lifting comes in. So persuade me. Tell me how it is and why it is that you should be paid for showing up.
Well,
and being a by the way, co-host, right. How often did you show up?
Originally, it was maybe 3 days a week, and then as it started to progress, I said, you know what, this is like getting ridiculous. I'm waking up at like 6 in the morning to go to do a morning show. I'm driving. We did remotes. I'm driving to the remotes. I'm putting up with his language, and he's got a very bad temper. And he was very mean to a lot of my guests and things like that. So I kept on the show because of the promise of doing it, and then he was going to bring that radio show.
You clearly did not have other work to do, or you would not have continued to show up for free to a radio show, waking up at 6 in the morning.
Right. No, I mean, I had other, you know, work that I was doing as well.
Okay. Did the topic of money ever come up again?
Yes, it did.
How often did the topic of money come up? What's frequently?
Probably once a week, twice a week. I would
and
tell.
And then you just keep showing up. Once a week, twice a week.
Well,
say,
he kept promising me
You're
that.
Pay me? Yeah, I promise I'm going to pay you. And then you'd show up again, and you'd show up again.
But
and that's kind of the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result.
If you understand, Your Honor, that in entertainment, a lot of it is built on that. And
I understand that in entertainment, a lot of it is built on free work, which is people showing up in order to promote themselves, and they don't expect to get paid.
Right, but in this case, it wasn't.
Which is what he says this was and kind of what it looks like. So that's why I need you to persuade me that, in fact, you know, you were supposed to get paid. According to you, you're having this conversation every week.
Yeah, it's going
a couple times a week.
And there was also the promise that he was going to bring the show to television, and I was going to be part of that as well.
That I get.
It was also established that as the co-host, I was continually mention. And
Is
there's
there okay, but you're not there every day. So who's the co-host on the other 3 days a week at this point?
his name is Jigga Jones.
Okay. And did that guy get paid?
I believe he did. Yes.
Did he get paid?
He did not get paid, Your Honor.
Okay. Why do you
not
believe
from my
he did?
understanding. He told me that he got paid for being on the show.
Okay.
What happened, Your Honor, is that, and I have the contracts here, and there is no payment from the radio station. We never got paid to be on there. This is a brokered radio station where people pay to be on the air, pay for the hour time. So with Mr. Daly, a.k.a. Jigga Jones, we would try to sell advertising revenue. And
when Jigga Jones got paid, is it because he brought in advertising?
no,
Did he get paid?
he did not get paid.
Ever?
He never got paid.
Oh, so where do you get your evidence from? The grapevine, or do you have any evidence that Jigga Jones got paid?
He told me that he got paid.
That's
And then
it?
also,
Do you
when
have
he
him
was
here as a
saying-
witness to testify?
No, unfortunately, but I do have a text from him saying that, because it was more my concern about my situation, not his. So when he told me that he had witnessed also that, he sent me a text saying that he was going to be sending email that, and then it shows here.
I'm
how
sorry,
he-
you haven't said anything, but you've said a lot of words. What?
Right. I'm saying he said he was
That's
going to
Dave.
He
send
sent you a
me
text saying what?
that I was supposed to get paid, that he overheard Gary.
Okay, let me see that
and him.
text. I mean, that's kind of rank hearsay, but let me see it. Are you in a problem with Jigga Jones now?
No, I don't have. I love Jigga,
Okay.
but I do have a.
Why would he send this, or is this a fake?
The bottom line is here's a
No,
declaration.
I'll get to the bottom line.
I
Just
have
show
no
me.
idea about the text or email. I never
Thanks,
saw
got the
it.
email. Did you get?
I never
Check your
saw it.
email. You should. Can you email me? What is this? This doesn't say any of the stuff you just said it would say. What do you want me to do here?
No, that just shows that he's agreeing with me and that he was going to send the email, but I hadn't gotten the email in time for
You
court.
can't possibly be asking me to consider this evidence, right? Can
I'm
you
just
email me
showing what
later?
he
Check
sent
your
me.
email. It'll be there.
Signed
Okay, that's good.
declaration from
All right,
Bill
next. What's going on? What do you think is going on
I
here?
think
Was there
Dave is-
eventually? Let me just ask.
Sure.
Was there eventually a problem between you two that led to this?
I think Dave just, I like Dave. There's nothing wrong with Dave. Dave's a nice guy.
Usually, when litigants say that in the tone that you just said it, it's incredibly condescending.
Well,
Go ahead.
Okay, well, sort of.
Which is how Dave just felt when you said it. But in any event, talk to me.
That's his normal behavior.
It probably
pattern.
is now since he's done what he's done. I mean, taking
Okay.
me to court and doing all this, and
All right.
then just But the bottom line is, I think Dave is just upset because he's not on the show anymore.
I'm the one that walked
Just a
off,
moment.
Your
Just a
Honor.
moment.
Can I speak,
Go ahead.
please? What led to it, really, the downfall of our friendship was he had guests on, and he did have celebrity guests on come in and promote their stuff. But, I mean, they ended up swearing on my show time and time again. And it got to the point where, I mean, if you know, and I'm sure you do, FCC regulations, I'm not on a podcast or on the internet. This is AM, FM radio. I can get not only fined, but thrown off the air.
So did you stop, quote, booking as guests?
Yes, I basically just, I cut it down tremendously.
Did you ever yell at one of his guests for swearing on the air?
Yeah, I gave you tape. Yeah, of course. I mean, I was like, hey, man, what are you doing? You're going to get me thrown
kind
off
of
the
went on.
air.
I know how many hours do you have to fill?
I do an hour a day.
An hour a day. That's not that much to fill. But yeah, it went on for a bit of time. But so what? So why does that make an employment contract? In other words, if he's rude, then he's rude. Frankly, I guess, I don't know. I guess that's what. So you're talking to somebody who's a big radio comedy fan. I have Sirius XM on all the time. It's Raw Dog when the kids aren't in the car. It's Comedy Central and the Comedy Channel when they're not. And with all due respect, as soon as the talk comes on, I turn it off. Because the talk is always some sexist, misogynistic, yada, yada, women stink. Men that,
You pretty much described his
I know.
personality.
I listen to. All right, let's listen to it. But you know what? If it sells, it sells. If I don't care.
Well-
I'm a capitalist above everything else. And if that, I have this vision every time that happens. That the only other people listening are truckers, male truckers. Hold on. But hey, whatever.
Probably, yeah. I mean,
Hold on. No. Wait, let me see something because there's only one I want to air. I love it.
Because most people, a lot of guys are married to women, as always. I mean,
Yes.
it's still in vogue.
I'm working on it.
And I came across a story, and it's bizarre because it was earlier today, and I was talking to Jig off the air about it. It's like, 4 things men hide from their wives, right?
Yeah.
So me and Jig are going through the 4 things that we would hide from our wives or girlfriends or whatever.
Money, right?
Well, money was one of them. Yeah. credit cards, gambling, you know what I mean? Hide that from your wife or girlfriend. Drinking, you know what I mean? If you're an alcoholic like Jigga and I, you try to hide that from her. Extra money you have in your pocket, you know? I mean, you know, you want to keep a few bucks for yourself, and you know.
I wish I could do that.
Well, I know. Well, one day you'll make some money, Dave. You know, definitely you're gonna hide an affair from your wife or girlfriend, right?
Hey, like Bill Clinton did.
Yeah, exactly. And also, like, if you you want to go on a guy trip, you know what I mean, and you don't want to take the wife or the girlfriend, you may say, hey, honey, I have a business meeting somewhere, and then head to Vegas. Which my friend did about 10 years ago and got caught because he blew about $8,000 on his credit card.
See, Tammy would want to come along with me on that trip.
Well, no, I'm just saying you'd have to, Dave. Do you get the premise of it?
Well, yeah, absolutely. But I know.
Dumbass, you got to lie. I know, he's so stupid sometimes, you know what I mean? These are things you try to hide from her.
Right.
Right? Of course. I want to. No, you can't go, honey. Yeah, you know, I got to go. This is just going to be a real quick turnaround, blah, blah, blah. You know.
She would find out, though.
Okay. That's as much as I can tolerate. But okay.
Thank you, Your Honor. Same here.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So does it make sense that this plaintiff says that he hasn't been paid for 2 years?
It doesn't make sense because he should have reported it in like 4 weeks if he hasn't get paid.
Yeah, you don't get paid. You say, hey, where's my money, right?
Yeah.
There you go. What do you say?
I think he definitely needs the money for sure. Pay up front.
What should he get any money?
Yeah, I think he should get money.
He didn't complain for 2 years. The guy.
I think he should get paid.
I would have left with the.
Interns work for free all the time.
Huh?
Interns work for free all the time.
Interns do work for free all the time.
They know what they're getting into.
Okay. Going inside the courtroom.
God made colors for all the different tastes in the world.
Right.
Okay. Obviously, if he's on the air of the song, it's because there's somebody listening who kind of digs that. So, what difference does it make? Of course, if your boyfriend is an alcoholic, gambling, cheater, thief, you probably ought to know. He shouldn't be able to successfully keep that from you.
Right.
But that's not what we're here about.
Right. No, that's
we're
not the
about
gist
you
of the whole thing.
persuading me that this is a contract for employment. I see that after that he was rude to you. I mean, it goes on from there, and I know that.
No, I realize it's a comedy show.
I want you to show me one single proof of a promise, because you weren't even able to do it through the text that you said you were going to be able to do it through an email that you said you were. I want you to show me support for your version of the facts.
Oh, unfortunately, except for the oral agreement that we had and the promise of money.
And according to you, you never had that oral agreement.
If he would have asked me one time to pay him, he would have never been on the show again. Bottom line.
And I wish, because I did.
Bottom line.
Jig did say he was going to send that, and unfortunately, I don't have it. I don't want what he did to get him to not send that or whatever, but I wouldn't be here if I wasn't supposed to be, if I wasn't promised to get paid.
Why not? There's no downside for you in filing this. Yes,
but
sir.
that wasn't my original thinking.
Give you a document about him. He's also taken KCAA 1050 AM 106.5 FM to the labor board and suing us.
That's the
radio station, Broadcast Management Services. We just got this.
What happened with that?
It was a hearing today.
Today, so somebody's over there and you're over here.
Exactly. That's how vindictive this guy is.
It's not a
vindictive or tenacious, I don't know.
No, it's
but,
vindictive.
Either way, this one's clear, and I rule in favor of the defendant. I'm curious to see what happens with the labor board, although I'm pretty sure I can predict.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good luck, folks.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Good luck to everybody on their careers.
Sorry, Your Honor.
No.
All right, let's have it.
I am so pissed right now. It's like he's going like vindictive. If you knew the kind of person he was, then you know that vindictive is probably, his middle name.
Well, insults on the radio, rudeness, and all that raunch, that's just, bad radio. We hear that all over the place.
It is bad radio. And
you're part of it.
Not anymore. It's like I left the show because of all that.
Okay, right around this way. Okay.
Thanks.
All right, step on out here, and okay, you win your case. Satisfied how this comes out?
Absolutely. Absolutely. There was no base for it at all. Zero.
How tough is it to do radio when you have to pay for your airtime?
It's cool. It's just the way it is nowadays. You have to do what you got to do to get ahead. So I dig it. I enjoy it. I'm just glad this big, black, bald cloud is lifted from me.
Okay. Harvey?
I got to say, Kurt, tough luck that this guy's sensibilities were offended. I mean, he had every right at any point to say, I'm not doing this, I'm just leaving the show. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.